Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. What do Jeremy and Jinger Vuolo think about having 19 kids like Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar? Jinger Vuolo is one of 19 children. Her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, often talk about having as many children as God will give them. This is why they had so many children. Now that Jinger is married to Jeremy Vuolo and has 2 children, what do they think of having 19 kids? Jinger and Jeremy have a 3-year-old daughter, Felicity, who will be 4 years old in July. They also have a little girl, Evangeline, who will celebrate her 2nd birthday in November. The couple seems to stay pretty busy with their 2 daughters in Los Angeles, California. So, are 19 kids in their future? What do Jeremy and Jinger Vuolo have to say about having 19 kids? The Sun recently reported on court documents from the Duggar sisters' privacy lawsuit against the city of Springdale, Arkansas. The sisters claimed that the leaked police report, which contained the details of Josh Duggar's molestations in 2006, caused emotional distress. The case has been dropped. However, details of Jeremy Vuolo's deposition have been shared by the Sun. In the deposition, Jinger Vuolo and her husband disagreed with Jim Bob and Michelle's idea that they should have as many children as the Lord allows. So, it doesn't sound like 19 children are in Jinger and Jeremy's future. Fans have predicted that they might only have 3 or 4 kids, especially if they hope to stay in Los Angeles long term. Might any of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's children have 19 of their own? It doesn't look like any of Jim Bob and Michelle's adult children are having quite as many children as they do. None of them seem to be having their kids too close in age, with the exception of Joe and Kendra Duggar. Their children are very close in age and Kendra is still young. Plus, her mom is 42 years old and had a child a couple of years ago. So, Kendra could continue having kids for a while. There are still some Duggar kids at home who aren't yet married, so we'll have to wait and see what happens when their families grow when they get older. It looks like Jeremy and Jinger Vuolo aren't the only ones against having 19 kids, though. Ben Seawald, Jessa's husband, previously shut down this question, too. So, do you think that any of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's kids will end up having 19 children? Who do you think might come close? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And come back to USA Trends now for more news about Jeremy and Jinger Vuolo. From the moment Jinger and Jeremy Vuolo stepped into their quiet Los Angeles home, far removed from the Duggar family's bustling Arkansas household, it was clear they were charting a different course through parenthood. Although Jinger grew up believing it was her destiny to have as many children as possible, she's since discovered a more personalized, spiritually rooted path. In the warm comfort of faith and love, Jinger recollects voices of fear from her youth, the constant messaging that birth control is wrong, that every married woman must fill her home until her body no longer permits. But modern clarity has gifted her something richer, the knowledge that children are blessings, yes, but also that marriage and parenthood are journeys meant to be navigated with intention, prayer, and joy. Jeremy, once a professional athlete and now a pastor's voice alongside his wife, sees balance where his in-laws saw only expansion. In interviews, he notes that Jinger learned to think how to think, not just what to think, ushering in a new era of thoughtful family planning. Still, the notion of 19 children isn't foreign to them. It's as woven into family lore as weekend football games or decades-old photos. Yet their reaction is more gentle reflection than steady affirmation. On podcasts and interviews, Jinger admits she never wanted to leap from child to child. She was once paralyzed by the image of women so exhausted they lay on bedrest with kitchen floors stacked in dishes. She feared that life, one without space to savor each child as they arrived. Their own family, now 3 children strong, reflects that preference. They welcomed their son after a strategic decision and a long emotional pause. "We hit a rhythm," Jinger shares, then prayed and said, "If God leads us, we'll follow." The result, a family slowly blossoming in intention, not momentum. And while many Duggars will also limit their broods, Jinger even speculates that perhaps hellbent Jedediah might be the next to fill a Duggar nursery with numbers higher than most imagine. Jeremy often smiles at friends who comment, "You were one of 19, surely that shaped you." And yes, it did. But more so, it shaped a woman determined to teach her daughters, Felicity, Evangeline, and soon Finnegan, that a mother's calling is not measured in head count but in heart capacity. On a warm afternoon in their backyard, Jinger watches her girls laugh and chase their little brother. Jeremy holds her hand and says, "This is enough, for now." Not out of fear, but out of deep contentment. Because love, they've learned, is not tied to quantity. It's tied to presence. They respect Jim, Bob, and Michelle deeply, for their faith, dedication, and legacy. But their prayerful response to 19 kids is simply, "No, but thank God for each one we have." Their story is not a rejection of legacy, but a gracious rewriting, one that blends inherited devotion with modern wisdom, spiritual discernment, and the sweet solace of intentional living.